David Stein is another friend of long-standing of Lou's from 1976, when he and Lou met and became fast friends. He lives in Amsterdam now with his fiancée, Ricardo Sheppi, and he is especially grateful that Lou and Danielle were able to visit last summer. By all accounts, everybody had a wonderful time.
So as we all know, Lou had a gigantic presence, and his absence has left a huge hole. But this afternoon has been so extraordinary for me, and I imagine for a lot of you too, because suddenly Lou is alive again, through all the stories, through all the performances. It touched me very deeply in many ways. So I'm going to start off with, I had a list of traits. You've heard a lot of them already, but one was that Lou was not shy. Lou was ballsy. And the anecdote that it illustrates this was the way we met. So I went to this party in North Jersey with my girlfriend. But Lou's gaydar was on that night, as it usually was. So I was sitting there, and he came over, and he introduced myself, and immediately I thought, wait a minute, there's something going on here. So I said, oh, hello, and I want you to meet my girlfriend. And, but that didn't stop Lou, of course not. So as the night wore on, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, this guy is really, he is ballsy, he's something. And before I knew it, I had his phone number. And shortly after the party, I was in bed with him and no longer with her. So, you know, Mark, I don't know, 3.5, I don't know if I think it was around that time. I don't know what number you were or I was, but anyhow, Lou dumped me, and it's a good thing because I think Danielle was much better suited, obviously. They lasted a long time. So then I'm gonna skip to another trait. And Lou was very generous. That's trait number 2, we all know that. And trait number 3 was Lou was very stubborn. And if you had much to do with him, you knew that as well, and we've heard about that. So if you put that together, what that means is that Lou was stubbornly generous, okay? And the anecdote, one of the anecdotes, there are many, that illustrates this is that I live in Amsterdam, and through me, directly and indirectly, a lot of Dutch people came to New York. And, you know, Lou and Danielle run a bed and breakfast here. And so many of the Dutch people stayed there. And when Lou and Danielle came to Amsterdam a couple times, they wanted to see these people. So, you know, I said, well, let's organize something. Well, I got into the organization as far as making the phone calls because I had their phone numbers, okay? And that's as far as it went. Lou did the shopping, he did the cooking. Okay, so the first time this happened, he had done all that, and we went out to get a box of chocolates to go with the meal. And we were in the chocolate store, and Lou said, oh, I'm gonna get this. And I said, no, Lou, you've done everything else. I'm gonna get this. I want to buy the chocolates. And one of Lou's famous phrases was, David wants something else. So I thought, okay, I've got him this time because I speak Dutch and he doesn't. So I said to the woman behind the counter, yes, this man is very insistent, but please don't listen to him. I want to pay for this, okay? He's a dear friend of mine, and His partner's a dear friend of mine, and I want to pay for this. So when he goes to offer you money, don't take it. Please take it from me. I'm going to hold it over here. So I thought, okay, one time I've got the advantage. Well, guess what? I lost, as usual. And I don't know how, but Lou was stubbornly generous. So I want to say that another trait, and I've discussed this with you, Danielle, was that Lou had no anxiety. He wasn't an anxious person. That was mentioned already too. He used to go out for these late night walks, okay, alone, which is downtime, kind of like meditation. And when they visited us in Amsterdam, Lou went out for late night walks there too, along the canals. One night, there were two drunken Englishmen in a canoe. Middle of the night, there was no one around. They capsized. And in some of the canals, they're just walls. There's nothing to hold on to. They were drowning. Lou saw that. I don't know how he did it. There's a police station a couple blocks from that spot, but if you didn't know where it was, you could never find it. Lou went there like an arrow. They called the police boat. They were out there just in the nick of time, and Lou saved their lives. And it worked just the opposite for him another time. Also, his anxiety, I guess in the end, out on the street, there was no one to save him, unfortunately. And at that juncture, I would like to share something with you about that time. Ricardo and I were in Italy, the country of Lou's background. And it was our last night in Italy, and I had this dream. And it was powerful. I got up. I said to Ricardo, I really had a very powerful and violent dream. We went down to breakfast, and I told him this dream. I'm going to tell it to you. Ricardo and I were at a party, some unknown place. We had just arrived, and I suddenly felt an urge that I had to leave, and I had to leave alone. And the hostess was there, and I didn't want to say anything to anybody because I thought they're going to say, but you just arrived, you can't leave. And I think if I tell Ricardo, he's going to want to come with me, and I just had to leave, and I wasn't sure why, so I said, I have to go to the toilet. And I went past the bathroom and out the front door, and I was running on the street. And I suddenly got to a house. It was on the ground floor. It was late at night. The windows were open. It was brightly illuminated. I leaned in. The whole place was trashed. It was ravaged. There was furniture upside down. There were papers everywhere, broken glass. I didn't know where I was, but suddenly I started screaming out, Danielle, Danielle, are you okay? Answer me. Danielle, tell me you're okay. And there was silence, and I thought, I'm going to climb in here. I was just getting ready to climb in, and I thought, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. He may have escaped. Maybe he heard them coming. He may have escaped. I don't know, but I think it's better to go to the police. So I turned around, I started running to the police, and I woke up. Breakfast was over. We went upstairs. The phone rang. It was Danielle. That's how deeply both of you have touched me.
Thank you, David.